Hey, what's up guys? Alan here. Welcome to another episode of Thoughts on This, where I speak of my thoughts. And today I'll be giving my thoughts on the second film that came out of the MCU and the final film of Phase 5, Thunderbolts. Or should I say, the new Avengers. Thunderbolts centers around a group of anti-heroes caught in a death trap by Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine and are forced to work together in a mission while also battling with their internal conflicts. The film stars Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Sebastian Stan, Wyatt Russell, Hannah John Kamen, Olga Kurylenko, Louis Pullman, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. The film was released May 2nd of this year and grossed over $3 million worldwide at the box office. It was eventually added to Disney Plus on August 27th of this year. Now, what do I think about this film? So, I've actually seen this film a few times already, like I saw it in the theaters a while back, and I really enjoyed it. The action sequences, the performances, and the overall storytelling is what made this film an instant favorite and probably one of the saving graces of this already chaotic, hectic, current era of the MCU. And what I really enjoyed most about this film is that it takes some of the MCU's most underrated and side characters that you would have never expected to see in the main spotlight, put together in this new era of the Avengers. And quite a few of these characters are characters that we haven't seen in quite a few years. Ghost, played by Hannah John Kamen, is one example, as the last time we ever saw this character was in Ant-Man and the Wasp back in 2018, right before the movie event of 2019 Avengers Endgame. Even though she didn't have much of a character arc in this film, her presence was a definite treat to watch. And no matter how big of a role these characters played, even if they had just a few seconds of screen time, they had at least one shining moment. They made the most of what they got. Taskmaster, portrayed by Kurylenko, only had under 5 minutes of screen time and yet still had a lasting impression, from the epic fight sequence in the vault all the way to her gruesome death. A death that just caught me off guard and never expected to happen so early on. And as far as performances go, there were a few that stood out on both an exciting and emotional level and truly made the film for what it is. Pugh stole the show as Yelena with her funny and emotional performance, and despite the character's more complex story arc, she still retained her sharp wit from her last MCU appearance. Her performance sees a slightly different side of the character that was never seen before. It was a good balance of hilarious one-liners and a relatable arc of grief, feeling of emptiness, and self-reflection. And her connection with Bob is what added to her arc and the heart of the film. Pullman made Bob / the Sentry an instant MCU favorite from the comedic, thrilling, and emotional moments of the film. His whole story arc was definitely unique, intriguing, moving, and full of jaw-dropping moments, essentially tying the film's themes and topics and story together. And it definitely added that breath of fresh air to the current MCU. Russell shined once again as the ruthless John Walker, albeit a more humbled version, with him going through a divorce. He also did an amazing job in showing a slightly different side to his character that was definitely not seen from the last time we saw him back in Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was a balance between his usual arrogant personality with his more sentimental side. David Harbour as the Red Guardian may not have a huge complex story arc, but he really shined as the film's comedic relief. His performance throughout the film was just pure joy. Other standouts include Stan as the admirable Bucky Barnes, who definitely came a long way from his first MCU appearance, and Louis-Dreyfus putting on a pleasing performance as Defonte since she first appeared, and both are still continuing to carry the current MCU. The visual style for this film looks thrilling and unique from past MCU projects. The color grading, cinematography, and set design all complement with the film's aesthetic. Visually, it stands out from the more vibrant visuals seen in other MCU films from both Phases 4 and 5. Given that quite a few of these characters have done a lot of misdeeds in their past, it's only fitting to have themes of loneliness, depression, trauma, and mental health in general be present in this film, as a lot of these characters do go through a lot of these themes throughout, and it makes them not only more real, but more human, allowing the audiences to connect with these characters. And of course, Yelena is the main focus since the themes are mainly centered around her, and arguably she has suffered the most out of all the members of the team. She has been through so much, from having her childhood being taken away, losing her sister, and looking back at all the bad things she's done during her time in the Red Room up until now. Her journey is relatable to viewers who feel like they made a lot of mistakes and regrets in their lives, and that alone makes this film more human. Overall, the quality of this film was great. It was definitely full of surprises that made me shocked, laughed, and entertained all throughout, like not a dull moment whatsoever. The complexity in its themes and character development is what makes this film have its own identity and different from what Marvel Studios has put out this decade. And now here's a question that some of you guys might be asking. Would I consider them the new Avengers? Well, if it were up to me, yeah, I would. Well, I'm not an expert on the comics, but just by watching this film, this is a fun dynamic, great chemistry, plus the way how this film was set up, it was pretty reminiscent of the original Avengers, like phase 1 of the MCU. It feels like Marvel going back to the roots of what worked in the past. A ragtag group of people coming together to save the world, but with a twist. It's like Marvel took elements of what was good in previous MCU films while also introducing new ideas. Out of all the films to come out this year, this is definitely high up there as one of the best. Not only one of the best films of the year, but one of the best films to come out of the post-Endgame era. And with how messy things are with the MCU currently, this film has got it back on track and has made me invested in the MCU again. And if you've been a long-time MCU fan, this is one that I would highly recommend to watch. Alright, that sums up all of my final thoughts I have for this film, and if you agree or disagree, let me know down in the comments. And if you haven't already subscribed, it would really mean a lot. That's all I have to say, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!